of Care Sandwich. I'm Margarita Eberline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional CMO firm for law firms. Whew, that was a long intro. I have a really awesome guest, a personal injury attorney, Loyd Bourgeois. Oh my gosh. He'll tell you his correct pronunciation when he comes on the screen. I told him I was going to try not to mess it up. But anyway, he's going to come on the virtual stage here in a second. But first, check out this video and take a look at what Marketing Boss's podcast is all about.
Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Eberline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care.
Welcome to the virtual stage, Loyd.
Hey, thank you so much. And I just want to say you did a great job with the name.
Did I get it right? And I just second guessed myself.
Yeah, I think so. But that's typical of all of us, right? We're always second guessing ourselves.
Yeah, but that's what makes it memorable. It's all good.
Yeah.
So, Loyd, you are a personal injury attorney, and you do some really interesting things at your law firm, which we're going to get to in a second. But walk us through, what is your story? How did you end up here as a personal injury attorney and law firm owner?
Yeah, great. Thanks. And so it's not a traditional journey. I come from a very, I guess I would call it, very blue collar background. My great grandmother couldn't read and write. My grandmother was a hair washer on my mom's side. On my dad's side was a waitress. My mom got a GED. So it's very blue collar background, and I just kind of got lucky. I think I just hit, I call it the genetics lottery. I was always good in school, always kind of organized, did great on tests. And I ended up going to engineering school, which is, kind of crazy to look back on. I tell folks all the time, man, if I'd have known I was going to be a lawyer, I would have had a lot more fun in college. You're
like, why I study so hard?
Yeah, not that I didn't, but so I did this environmental engineering, because I always wanted to help my community, and that's why I did environmental engineering, because I live in South Louisiana. Growing up, it was always, the coastline, oil and gas industry, chemical alley, cancer alley. Was hearing all these terms, and how can I, use the gifts that I have to kind of make my community better? So I thought environmental engineering was the way I was going to do that. Kind of got some internships while I was in college, and was just working for large chemical manufacturers, and was bored out of my mind. Oh, this is just reading data, writing reports. I couldn't see
that's like my life as a CMO. What are you talking? That's boring.
And I was like, man, this is not for me. What I saw there was the engineers in the field were writing reports to their bosses, and their bosses were going, to corporate, and corporate was like, oh, we got to talk to the lawyers about this. And so I was so maybe if I go to law school, I can be the lawyer and the person who's, setting the direction, setting the trajectory. So that's what I did. I went to Tulane Law School, great environmental law program, did well there. And then Hurricane Katrina hit. I ended up working a lot of hurricane insurance claims and pollution, what we call toxic torts. Did that for a few years. And, as I said, when I first started, my family's very blue collar. I was the only person who really went to college, who went to law school. And so when you're in one of those families, anytime something comes up, doesn't matter if it's anything you know about, they're like, oh, Loyd's a lawyer, he's going to know what to do, right? And so
oh my God, I can relate.
that's really what happened. And it kind of, this Loyd's going to know what to do. It really kind of changed the trajectory of my career. So I had a cousin, really my mom's cousin. She ended up getting brain cancer. Um, Terrible
Mm.
diagnosis, had a young family. She was working for an insurance company at the time, and she was fighting for her disability benefits. Now, this is someone who knew me my whole life. I was there with my mom the day I was born, and I would be talking to her about her case, her disability, um, and the insurance company is saying, "Hey, we think you can sell insurance. It's not a taxing job. You just go out, and if you can't drive, you can call people on the phone and sell this insurance." And this is someone, again, like I said, was there when I was born, and I'm talking to her, and she stops me and she says, "I'm sorry, what's your name again?" And I'm like, how in the heck can an insurance company say she can sell insurance to deny her disability and she can't remember someone she's known her whole life's name? So
Right.
it kind of like ignited a fire in me. And I really, I fought for her. I was able to get her disability benefits and help her and her family out. And really it just kind of told me like, hey, this is what you really need to be doing. If you wanted to help your community, and the best way to help your community is to start helping these individuals, and like your cousin, who are facing these hard times and really getting pushed around and told crazy things by insurance companies. And that really kind of set me on this trajectory to where, I've been in my own firm now for this will be our 16th year. um, After working for about 5 years in other firms, that we've really taken that to heart to help individuals who are facing battles they can't win on their own.
Wow, what a story. And you're right, it's not the typical story. And it sounds like the theme that I'm hearing is you wanted to make a difference because of what you saw from your loved ones and your community. And your initial attempt, really the pattern is all the same. It's just the tactic changed. So now as an attorney, you saw the opportunity to help a lot more people and have a greater impact because it sounds like you got a taste of it with that case. Um, Walk us through, what does your life, your day to day look like now as a law firm owner? How do you let people know, one, that your law firm exists, and then how do you take care of them from the beginning of the case till after?
Yeah, so I mean, how do we let our folks know our law firm exists? I mean, we use a lot of the currently available marketing channels. um, we're on the internet. We do YouTube videos and TikTok and Facebook. We have some billboards around town. We're kind of more like focused on our small community. So our community is kind of like a bedroom community to a larger metropolitan area, which is the New Orleans area. We're a small little enclave to the west
Mhm.
of the city. But a lot of the folks in our community, even though we're close to New Orleans, there's a lot of folks who live and work in this area and are tied to this area for you know generations. And so this is kind of where we grew up. We've raised our family, and we are trying to make our mark in our community. And so we do a lot of community marketing, I guess is what I would call it. Sponsoring,
Like
uh,
grassroots. Mhm.
yeah, grassroots, right? Sponsoring the high schools, the local soccer teams, going out to, being a part of our local United Way, going out to events here locally in our community, and really using that to develop, to let folks know that, hey, we're not just here to market. We are here. This is us. When you hire us, you are hiring someone in your community who's here to fight for you. And so that's kind of how we get the word out about us. Now, in terms of like, what do we do? And um, beyond that, when folks call us and they're interested in hiring us, uh, our team kind of jumps into action. Before they even hire us a lot, if we get their name and address, we send them care packages like, hey, might be what you need, and it's going to be a book to help them through whether they hire us or not. This information is valuable to them. It's going to be just some, a mug like a Yeti or a Stanley mug, like everybody loves those these days.
Yes.
We have like, you know, a lot of times they're going through injuries, and so we have these little pill boxes that we send to them, so that way they can carry medications around with them in their
Ooh, I would
purse.
love one
And
for my
in there,
vitamins.
yeah, go ahead, send us your
Yeah.
address. We'll
Yeah.
mail you one out. And then a great thing that we also put in there is like a little hot cold pack. You know, you can put it on your bruises, your sprains to help ease the pain, reduce the swelling, and it gets a great response. And so that's even before they hire us. That's just when they call in, and then they're like, oh, this firm really does want to take care of us, even if we don't hire. Um, and then throughout the process, after they hire us, it's not just you hire us and you don't hear from us again. We've developed robust systems to kind of stay in touch with folks, to let them know what's happening in their case. We do a lot of I mentioned earlier, to get the word out, we do a lot of like YouTube and TikTok and
Mhm.
Facebook videos, but we also have a whole system of videos built into our like client portal, that it's me explaining, taking clients through the process. Hey, now that this is happening, these are some questions you might have, and they see me on there, and it kind of keeps building that trust, building that relationship, even though I'm not constantly there. And then my team, when they hear these questions, they can direct folks immediately to this video. And then, obviously, if they have questions still after that, we encourage them to communicate with us, to reach out to us, so we can make sure that their cares and concerns are being addressed throughout the process.
I love what you just described. And I'm going to highlight a couple of things that you said. You created an ecosystem where the foundation is this video content. So your video content is used to draw people in with your marketing using warm channels, right? Like your
Yep.
socials. And that same video content also helps during the, I'm going to call it lead nurture process, along with this gift giving strategy that you embedded in there. And then that follow up, meaning customer experience, also benefits from that video content, because what I'm hearing is your team doesn't have to stress about knowing what you know, because you've armed them with very smart, curated content that
Yeah.
they can use to use your voice, your image, and likeness to answer the questions. That's pretty genius. And we recommend stuff like that to law firms all the time. It's very rare that I come across a law firm that's already doing it, like on their own.
Yeah.
And
Thanks.
it's very smart and it's very efficient.
Yeah. And it's, it helps. Uh, it helps reduce the client fear, right? Because sometimes if my team tells someone something, they might not truly believe it, but if it's coming from me and then my team reinforces it, the client is more apt to not have fear about if what they're being told is true. They got that video there, and it's me explaining it, and then my team is also reinforcing that message to them.
Now, I'm going to share a pushback point that I get when I recommend exactly what you're doing and what you're telling me is working.
Yeah.
um, and I'm going to ask you to help me help attorneys with your words instead of mine. So,
Okay.
one common thing that I get is that's a lot of work. I don't want to go through the process of making all those videos. I'm a busy attorney. I have cases, I have XYZ, right? Like life. That sounds like a lot of work. I have to probably invest in software. Like, how much is that going to cost? And it's like $50, right? Like for a
Yeah.
CRM. Help me from, in your words,
Yeah.
like explain why it's worth it. Like
Yeah.
I say
Well,
it's worth it till I'm blue
yeah.
in the face. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I think I don't know of any specific software. I just record videos, right? But this is what I would say. It's like, look, all of it's hard work. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It does take time. It is hard, but it's also so beneficial, because you can do it once. It takes time once, and then you get to spend it. You get to use it, and then if you need to change it, you just go change it once. It's no different than having, you know, your full caseload of clients calling, asking the same question over and over. That's also hard work to have to answer that. But if you do the videos, and then your team can answer that question with you in a video and send it off to your client, now you're not answering that question, that call every time it comes in. And then you can call the client and have a different conversation. Hey, did you find that video useful? Did it answer your questions? Yeah, man, I really love that. I appreciate that. It was so helpful. And they also have it there to go back to. It's not just talking to you on the phone and they have to remember what you said. They have it. They can go back and listen to it when they're up in the middle of the night thinking about all the things clients think about. They can go back and watch that video, and it's you telling them again what is important about their case, their question, and they don't have to call you the next morning after they thought about it again.
Yeah, I love this. And now let's talk about money. How does this turn into money for your firm? And you don't have to give us figures, but
Yeah,
the journey that you've described, just my common sense and my CMO brain, I already know this gives you ROI because
yeah,
it's cutting down on your labor costs with less back and forth. It's cutting down on your time. And I bet it also gives you a really good infrastructure for referral business.
yeah,
So walk through what's that like? That's
yeah,
where the real gold is.
yeah. And so one, it does help with all of those things you just mentioned. The other thing it really helps for is, and we tell clients at the beginning is, look, um, I'm going to ask you for a review at the end of this case or at some point along the way. Until we get to that point, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that's a 5-star review. And
Wow.
what are reviews worth? They're kind of invaluable. So that ROI for the reviews, because it's there. It's what consumers are looking at as they make decisions. It's what your referral sources are looking at when they are like, hey, is this firm, is this attorney really doing a good job for me? They're going to look and see what your clients and what others are saying about you. And so really, in terms of dollars, I don't know. I don't really calculate the ROI on the videos, one, because I know it's the right thing to do and I know my clients love it. And I really think it's invaluable to have that today. Uh, you mentioned earlier, we're kind of in a fast-paced, low threshold for attention span. They want, and they're used to getting videos now, and so that's a good way to meet clients where they are. And
And I
that's
bet
something else we really like to do: meet clients where they are.
I could probably calculate the ROI because the way that we do it is I would look at what was your cost per case before launching XYZ initiative and what is it after. And that's where you can see that. Like it's really tricky to see it directly because to your point,
Yeah,
I don't know how much money you saved with the one video that you sent to answer the one question, but I bet you that if you look at your own data of what did it cost you to acquire a case before these initiatives versus what it's costing you now, that number, like it just has to be like
it
I
should be.
believe it,
Yeah,
like I believe in the Holy Spirit, like it's there. It just has to be lower. Like it's just
right.
common sense. So anyway, that's how I would calculate it. But this
Yeah.
has been such a
Well,
great
that assumes we were great at collecting all the data all the way through and had great numbers to tell us what our cost per case was, which,
that's
you
fair.
know,
You
as
probably don't, maybe, I don't
yeah,
know.
as we're growing, we're learning
Yeah.
things as we, try certain things, we get different data points and we change data points. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Um,
Yeah.
but I would say even if it was not, um, even if it costs, it's still the right thing to do because
That's true.
clients, at least our clients, love it. And so sometimes in business, right, some things are going to cost, and you just got to understand that and be okay with it. And I think even if it is a cost and not a positive ROI, it's the right thing to do because it meets clients where they are and it helps them get the information that they need.
That's so true. That is such a good point. And here I was just thinking about the money, but you're right. It's the right thing to do, and that's priceless.
Yeah.
Um, this has been such a wonderful conversation, Lloyd. So many great nuggets. I have one more question for you,
Yeah. Of course.
and then we need to wrap it up because I took way more of your time than I meant to. What is your favorite sandwich?
Yeah. I'm South Louisiana through and through. I love a good shrimp po' boy.
Okay, that's awesome. I haven't been to Louisiana in a minute. Oh yes, and if folks want to get in touch with you, how can they best get in touch? We put your contact information up on the screen, but walk us
Yeah.
through what are some of your favorite ways for folks to get in touch with you?
Yeah. So LinkedIn, Loyd J. Bourgeois. It's a good place to reach out, have questions. We can chat through there. My website, if you want to learn more about me and my practice, it's ljblegal.com. Phone numbers there, 504-372-1444. I love to help anyone who's, just struggling through or thinking about or brainstorming different ways to uh, be better for our clients.
Wonderful. And this was such great content that you just gave us to share with law firm owners, attorneys thinking about opening up their own practice. So many wonderful bits of advice. And I hope that if you're watching, listening, that you reach out with questions. Loyd is open. And I wish you the best. And Loyd, I'm going to see you backstage and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode.